The Galactic Council's request had been simple enough. Send humanity's finest educator to teach their young about warfare and strategy. What they received instead was Colonel Marcus Chen, a man whose weathered hands bore the scars of 10 different conflicts across 7 worlds. The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably in their crystalline chairs as Chen entered the council chamber, aboard the orbital station Nexus Prime. His uniform was crisp, but his eyes held depths that spoke of horrors witnessed and decisions made in the crucible of combat. The Veltar representative, a tall being with gossamer wings, leaned forward with obvious concern. "We requested a teacher," Ambassador Silthera said, her voice carrying the musical tones of her species. "Someone to educate our military academies about human tactical doctrine. We did not expect—" "A killer?" Chen's voice was steady, matter of fact. He took the offered seat, noting how the various alien species recoiled slightly. "That's exactly what you need." The Carathian delegate, a beetle-like creature with mandibles that clicked nervously, spoke up. "Colonel Chen, our species have evolved beyond the brutality of warfare. We seek to understand human military success through academic study, not through the experiences of a war criminal." Chen's laugh was bitter but not unkind. "War criminal? I've been called worse. But let me ask you something. How many of your species have faced extinction-level threats? How many have stared into the void and decided to fight back instead of surrender?" The chamber fell silent. Chen continued, his voice taking on the cadence of a classroom lecturer, though his words carried weight that no academic could match. "You want to know why humans win wars? It's not because we're smarter than you. The Corvani have computational abilities that put our best AIs to shame. It's not because we're stronger. The Thurok could snap our spines with their bare hands. And it's certainly not because we're more technologically advanced. Half of you were traveling between stars while we were still banging rocks together." Chen stood, beginning to pace as the aliens watched with a mixture of fascination and revulsion. "We win because we understand something that your civilized species have forgotten. War isn't about tactics or technology or even strategy, though those matter. War is about will. It's about being willing to make the choices that keep you awake at night for the rest of your life." He paused at the great viewport, gazing out at the swirling nebula beyond. "Take the Battle of Kepler 442b. Your textbooks probably call it the Kepler Incident. 3 human colonies, 40,000 civilians facing a Zerathi hive fleet. We had 12 ships. They had 300. The Veltar ambassador's wings fluttered nervously. "The records show you somehow achieved victory despite impossible odds." Victory. Chen's reflection in the viewport looked older than his 50 years. "Is that what you call it? We didn't win through some brilliant tactical maneuver. We won because I made a choice that no sane being should ever have to make." He turned back to the assembly. "We used the colony's fusion reactors as weapons, turned 3 entire worlds into bombs. 40,000 people died instantly, but their sacrifice took out 2/3 of the hive fleet and broke their assault. The remaining Zerathi retreated and the war ended." The chamber erupted in shocked chatter. The Carathian delegates' mandibles clicked rapidly. "You committed genocide. You murdered your own people." "Yes?" Chen's simple admission silenced the room. "I did. I gave the order that killed 40,000 humans to save 40 million more on the core worlds. And I'd do it again." Ambassador Silthara's voice was barely a whisper. "How do you live with such a decision?" "Badly," Chen replied. "I don't sleep well. I drink too much. I see their faces in every reflection. But I live with it because the alternative was the extinction of my entire species. That's what you don't understand about human warfare. We don't fight to win glory or territory or resources. We fight like cornered animals because to us there's always something worth dying for." He walked to the center of the chamber, addressing each delegation in turn. "You asked for a teacher. Here's your first lesson. Every human military doctrine, every strategy, every tactical manual is written in blood. Not metaphorically, literally. Every page represents someone who died learning that particular truth." Chen activated his personal data pad, displaying holographic battle reports. The Thermopylae Doctrine, learned when 300 Spartans held off an army. The Stalingrad Stratagem, learned when civilians ate their own boots to keep fighting. The Hail Mary Protocol, learned when desperate pilots crashed their ships into enemy vessels because ammunition was scarce. You see patterns and principles where we see tombstones and trauma. You want to understand why humans are effective warriors? It's because we've been dying to learn these lessons for thousands of years. Every victory cost us something precious. Every defeat taught us something valuable. The Thurok representative, who had been silent until now, rumbled in their deep voice. And you believe this brutality is something we should emulate? Chen shook his head. God, no. You should pray you never have to. Your species are better than us. More civilized, more rational, more humane. But if the day comes when you face extinction, when some threat emerges that your diplomacy can't solve and your technology can't stop, you'll need to understand how humans think. Because we've already paid the price for that knowledge. He gathered his materials, preparing to leave. I'll teach your academies about human military doctrine. I'll show them our tactics, our strategies, our methods. But remember this, we didn't develop these capabilities because we're naturally violent. We developed them because the universe is a dangerous place and sometimes good people have to do terrible things to protect what they love. As Chen reached the chamber's exit, Ambassador Silthara called out, Colonel, what if your methods corrupt our young? What if we become like humans? Chen paused at the threshold, his scarred hand resting on the frame. Then you'll survive. The question is, what's more important to you, remaining pure or remaining alive? The heavy doors closed behind him, leaving the Galactic Council in stunned silence. Outside, humanity's strangest ambassador walked toward the teaching facilities carrying the weight of 10 wars and the hope that others might never have to bear such burdens. In the end, they had requested a teacher. Humanity had sent exactly that, someone who had learned the hardest lessons in the deadliest classroom in the galaxy.